What is going on, guys? We are back with our Pittsburgh Steelers Online User Franchise. It's officially the offseason, and we got a couple of dev-ups, one being Pat Freiermuth, the superstar, and Calvin Austin to start development trade. I was a little delayed on free agency because we simmed super quickly, so I wasn't really able to actually sign many free agents or even re-sign of a lot of our pending free agents, but I was able to get Taylor Lewan back, who I signed after we lost in our playoff game, so that's a nice right tackle addition. Sorry, Kermit, you'll know what this means. Calvin Austin, like I said, dev up. Same with Freiermuth, and in free agency, I offering a few like bottom barrel type depth guys. We did end up getting Akeem Hicks, which was pretty cool and kind of big for us. And we're trying to offer on a couple other guys, but they're really just like depth guys. We'll show you guys who they are and if we get them or not. Of course, some of the free agent signings here: Sanders of the Ravens, Odell of the Falcons, TJ Edwards to the Bears, Juju Smith-Schuster. Some of these names, not really big, but others decent. Tom Brady's still here. He's a Titan now, which is pretty interesting. I know there was talks about that in real life, so that's kind of fun. A bunch of different names here. If you guys want to pause and see them for some reason, you can look. But here are the names we got. We got Bud Dupree back. I know the Steelers and their fans would love to see that. And then Equanimeous St. Brown to back up the wide receiving group. Probably won't see much starting time, but it is what it is. Of course, looking at some names here, the trenches, kind of our main focus. Cornerback is really up there too, but as far as we're selecting, which is obviously late in the first, highly doubt that we're going to end up getting one of those cornerbacks, so might have to make a trade for a better veteran cornerback, as that's really holding us back in these games. But starting the draft, the Commanders at number 1 overall, taking a quarterback. Now, a lot of these names are probably subject to change, so there's not really much point in kind of, getting held up on the names themselves. Perry to the Panthers, quarterback again. Another quarterback, this time to the Seahawks. Obviously, Geno Smith in real life can be used in game, not so much. Another quarterback, this time to the Raiders. And then the Giants, I believe, is the first non-quarterback, a very fast cornerback who is definitely number 1 on my list, but obviously I knew it was never going to happen. Rossum, the Chargers ended up trading up for him, and he, I believe, is a kind of like off-ball linebacker. Henson, solid-looking edge to the Colts, who I thought was pretty good as well. Wide receiver, Pointer to the Falcons. Joe Contreras to the Jets, a tackle. A little interesting. I feel like that was the biggest need. Tight end to the Jaguars, who just lost Evan Ingram, so obviously that makes sense. The Packers on the board go with a cornerback themselves, Ruben McQueen. Not sure why that was the case. This guy we're going to have to take a look at later because he may be the steal of the draft. And I know you're thinking, steal that high? Kind of. DT the Lions, obviously he was on my list. Might have been the guy we took if he was there. Stout, who is an edge rusher to the Texans. I believe he is normal dev, but he's actually not bad. He just needs a breakout. Lawrence to the Eagles, another really good player. Safety to the Eagles, which I suppose is a need. I don't know how many players he had to trade or lose because of contract situations. Edge to the Bengals. And speaking of those Eagles, talking about contracts, I know he did trade off Darius Slay. So he definitely needed a DB or two, and he got those. Running back to the Dolphins, obviously a position of need. Tight end to the Dolphins, who I believe lost Gesicki, so that's obviously another position of need. And then we said, screw it, I've seen too many corners go. It's cornerback time. We trade a 2nd and a 4th this year for a pick swap 5th and Byron Jones. We finally have cornerback 1. We see edge go to the Cowboys. Tackle to the Buccaneers. Consider that guy a left tackle. Normal dev from the Ravens with Calhoun. However, a very good edge rusher. Just a little bit on the slower side, but edge linebackers, they're tough. You need like a pure left end, right end to have someone decent. Coverage from the Titans. Jaguars with a wide receiver. Corner to the Chiefs, so not really that's dumb for trading those picks for the cornerback because there's not much left. Another really big steal that we'll take a look at after the draft as well. And then looking at our picks, cornerback, still kind of a need, right? Because Mathis, I want to be our true number 2, but will he be? I don't know. Carruthers, not the fastest. He's decent, but not that fast. Byron looks really good as a lineman, a couple of different linemen in general, but after getting Lewan, maybe not the biggest need in the world anymore. Looking across the board here, so many different names, but a lot of the talent kind of gone. We got a DT in Bullock. What other DTs do we have? Edge, not really going to work out. Thinking about maybe trading Highsmith, didn't play well, needs a contract. DT, obviously, we've got some names, but Do you really want Leal starting another season? Derek Gibson looks pretty good. Super fast, strong. Bullock, I don't think is great, but he's strong, and sometimes it's a lie. Sometimes those ratings are a lot better than their actual key ratings say, but can you trust it? Davidson, another guy that's not the strongest in the world. It's really down to Gibson and Bullock in this decision, and I end up going with Mr. BJ Bullock, and let me tell you, it was not a good decision. Normal dev, which we can live with. Normal dev is not the end of, anything. Super strong, really good speed, solid excel for his size. But normal development trade, and you'll see these ratings in a minute, they are not good. Should have went Gibson for sure. Cornerback to the Saints, linebacker to the Eagles, cornerback to the Cowboys. This guy was a top 5, but he wasn't really that good, and he just isn't good. And then the final pick of the first round, Byron, who's actually a superstar. What the hell was that? Melted paint? I don't even know what that was. But obviously, looking at the actual devs now, these are our guys. We got 3 players. We ended up with Harper, a speedy wide receiver, and then a really bad DT. But look at those ratings. Oh my, is he going to need some help? Not a great draft pick at all. Should have went Gibson every day of the week. When I was editing this, I was like, why didn't we go Gibson? Harper was just the best available player at the time. I traded up. Not much to get to, I believe. Maybe like a 5th or a 6th the following year. And then Barlow with a better pass rushing ability than our first rounder. But obviously really bad. Never going to start unless we have like multiple injuries. But looking at the other draft picks, quarterback from the Washington Commanders, good throw power, not bad accuracies, but normal dev. Then we have ourselves another normal dev quarterback, definitely worse than the previous pick. Then the third quarterback is actually hidden development trade, 23 years old, but really strong with hidden development trade. I can't remember if he was superstar. He was. So solid pick there, and Slinger too. Solid pick, obviously. Then looking at another quarterback, this time to the Raiders. Hidden development trade as well. A little bit more fast than some of the other guys, and a little bit weaker, but hidden development trade, so definitely a win of a pick compared to the first 2. Sorry, guys. Traditional 5 and star dev. I actually didn't look at this style from the normal guys. If they had Slinger, then maybe things change. Very fast corner, like we talked about. 5'10", though, I believe, so it's a little on the shorter side with a dev of star. So not really the best cornerback class. That guy was like wildly the best corner, if I remember correctly, and even then, he's not the best, right? Rossum definitely took a lot to get him. I think it was 2 first-round picks and Keenan Allen, but I know he likes his fast, speedy rookie linebackers, so he's going to have more fun than, with him than he will with Keenan anyways. So pointer, normal development trait, but pretty good speed for a 6'3" guy. We talked about Henson, the right end, not bad. Contreras, I think star development trait at 23 years old. It's a little bit of an L, but it is what it is. Another hidden development trait, corner, probably better than the Giants one just because of the size. Didn't look at the jumping, but it's usually size that's able to stop the jump balls. Star development trait. Earl Blevins, the tight end of the Jaguars. Not the fastest, but he is hidden. He's an okay pick, I guess. By far the biggest need on that team, I believe, with the dev of star. And then here's the guy we talked about earlier, the steal of the draft, debatably, Cam McClellan, just because he wasn't the first skill position player off the board at that, wide receiver tight end, and he was an X factor. Solid pick there. Daniel Pryor to the Lions, very good pass rush ability. Looks like he's about 52 years old, but doesn't matter if he's playing well, and he has star development trait. Joel Stout, normal development trait, but like I said, not a bad player, especially since edge linebacker is tough to find. I know it's right end, left end, but the actual position of edge linebacker almost always sucks in the game. Craig Lawrence, obviously speedy, hidden development trait, and that trait is superstar. On to the division rival Bengals, who I actually don't think was even there, and I don't think he even set his board. Not a bad player. I don't know if edge is really even his need, but he'll probably end up starting him, right? Because I think Hubbard's his other option, so don't think Hubbard really has much of a ceiling. Jonathan Rudolph, I was debating on him. 23, I just don't love, but, there wasn't many options, and despite the fact that this guy is hidden at star dev 23, not the best, but still it's a good pick where he was selected. Larry Baker, super fast. Not a bad pick at all for a team that definitely needed running back. And then a speedy tight end. I would debate that this guy's better than the Jags guy because 3 speed is massive. Solid looking edge there in Lowry. Chapman, a DT I was also thinking about. Not great block shed, but at least he's hidden. And that finesse move is, was it finesse power? I'm looking at a tiny screen doing this voiceover. Doesn't matter though because he's superstar, best DT so far we've seen. Already left tackle, didn't waste any time. moving him over, as obviously that was kind of the expected move with Wirfs on the other side with the dev of star. No superstar offensive lineman yet. Calhoun, like we talked about, really slow but solid. 77 block shed, 81 power move. I mean, you don't have to be the fastest. You just got to get to the quarterback. Lionel Wheatley, you can argue maybe better than Rossum, but technically Rossum I think was faster. But more importantly, unless you're superstar above, I don't care about hidden. I'd rather have normal than hidden if you're not going to be higher than star. If you're star, I'd rather have normal. Give me the dev up. Give me the XP. Anderson, plus it's more fun because you're like, oh, we got a breakout, But Anderson's okay. That corner from the Chiefs is at least fast. And then this, maybe more of a steal considering it's the quarterback position than McClellan. Superstar dev quarterback with Slinger 3 and he's athletic. Care Brothers, I was debating on taking. Not a great corner either. It was like 2 good corners in this draft class. Wilkerson, not bad, also hidden. But once again, if it's not higher than star, I wouldn't really care about hidden. And I think it was that 23 years old? Venable, 6'2", 22, looking like Andrew Booth out here, which is not a good thing. And he's also only normal, which I know is contradictive. And then Mark Byron, who I almost took, should have taken as he's superstar. But here we're about to take a look at the one guy that I really should have taken over our own guy, Derek Gibson. Huge mistake not to. Once again, I kind of fell for the strength, and all the rebuilds I've done and drafts I've done, I've seen so many lies with C's that are actually like mid-70s. Wasn't the case, and breaking news, Lamar Jackson has been released. Yes, I really edited that in there just for that crap joke. But this is what the team looks like, or projects to look like for week 1 of the regular season, which will be against the Bengals. Jaden Harper, the new number 4 wide receiver. Who knows what kind of burn he gets. Technically should start him over Calvin Austin, but I just loved Calvin Austin. Danny Cole, the new wide receiver, 5'6". I don't even know at this rate, but a lot of depth at that wide receiver position. Foster Moreau is the new tight end too, so we have a little bit of talent there. Not the most athletic, but just enough. Bullock's the new left end, as I think he has a higher ceiling than Leal, even though I love Leal. And then Angelo McCree, kind of going to get the nod over Bolden this season, as he has a way better ceiling. I'm planning on re-signing him. Not a bad UDFA, if you will. BJ Bullock. I actually didn't change his name because I thought it was sick. Looks pretty cool too. I'm praying that this guy's good because he just... I don't know, I just like him, even though he sucks. He's awful, but I like him. Anyone else on defense? We obviously have Byron Jones, and cornerback doesn't really change much. We got Aquara as a backup, Bud Dupree as a backup, this Drayton rookie as a backup. A bunch of new depth players, so while the starters didn't really get that much better, not that they necessarily needed to, we have way better depth this time, and we still have a lot of fun, developable players. Pickens still, Calvin Austin still, a lot of players on defense like Highsmith and some cornerbacks still, and McCree could get a dev up, so a lot of fun players to develop still, and, a first full season with Jordan Love at quarterback could be fun, could be special. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate your continued support on the channel, and maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PKR plays for non-Madden content. Don't know what the plan is for today. Maybe it was a career sim. Maybe we also finished the Seahawks franchise today. I don't know. But at least 2 videos, and that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you're excited for week 1, which should be sometime early next week. And hopefully you come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!